My dad had beaten me with 2 bahuma, my body full of sore. Blood oozing from my pores, streams of tears flowing like a course. Jones saw all over my body like my bladder was tore. I wanted to run like a horse, but rather, my knees and legs were trembling on the floor. Looking for my breath while gasping for more. At age 24, I wanted to die and feel alive because I was alive, but I wasn't living. I mean, what is the point of living when there's beauty in sleeping in eternity? Sleep without wake, I just want to evolve. After all, there is peace and tranquility. But life is full of meaningless meanings. Sleep, wake up, work, laugh more, cry, eat, get money or die poor. I mean, everything is vanity. So there I was, a knife in my right hand, razor blade in my left, ready to end it all. Agroni, Ntokwani, nobody to save me except God. She was 25 years old with a beautiful heart and soul, God-fearing, intelligent with a heart of gold, but she's unhappy all because she has been abused sexually since she was 12 years old. Now she's old and the whole world knows she's in hot water but it's feeling cold. I know you feel sorry, but the rest story is about to unfold. Feeling sorry, she went to the drugstore, ordered for 10 packets of nothing but paracetamol. So there she was, para on her right, a bottle of Dettol on her left, ready to end it all. Agroni, Ntokwani, nobody to save her except God. He was highly respected with a beautiful wife and 4 kids. A business mogul, flashy cars, beautiful life in politics. But inside his suit and tie is a river of sweat and lies. A sorry penny on Kanokre, and Brabo is full of tricks and lies. Now he's stranded. The house is on foreclosure. The wife is sick and tired. She's living with the kids 4 o'clock, yeah. A sorry keeps ringing on the Sikana politics. The bank keeps calling 10 million when the clock is on tick. His face on TV, I mean on the news, sitting in an air-conditioned, sweating profuse. So there he was, a rope and a noose. On his right, alcohol and some juice. On his left, a gun ready for his car. Agroni, Ntokwani, nobody to save him except God. On her 30th birthday, yet again, no man has proposed. Maybe soon, but not yet. All her classmates, friends and foes are married with kids, but she's still with a parent instead. She scrolls on Instagram, Facebook feed, and all she sees, congratulations, wow, I'm so happy for you. Fake smiles, emojis, and pictures. But every night she cries herself to sleep. Her bed a sea of tears and whispers of depression, suicide, kill yourself. Aren't you tired of ridicule from family, friends, and strangers? So there she was, at the edge of the bridge, ready to end it all. Agroni, Ntokwani, nobody to save except God. You see, if you haven't gone through life before, don't ever think depression doesn't exist at all. Depression doesn't respect anyone, whether rich or poor, married or not. Your mental health is your God. Death, they say, is for all, but the one you take by yourself, I do not support. So if you are going through all and need someone to talk, just talk to your mom or your dad, or that loving friend of yours, or seek professional help. Or you can still call 024. I mean, just call on God. Suicide is not an option. Peace.
Indeed, suicide is never an option. That's the man, Fifi. Thank you very much. That's amazing. That's amazing. I like the way you put it in different spheres of life. Yeah. So it doesn't matter the age range, it doesn't matter the profession you find yourself, it doesn't matter who you are. Depression can be part of your life, and if not treated or carefully attended to, can lead to suicide.
Absolutely.
Essentially, that's the message.
That was the whole thing. I mean, young people kill themselves. Yeah. Just a couple of years, a senior high school girl killed herself, or something like a 15-year-old girl. We have just recently an elderly man, I mean, climbing a whole transformer to kill himself. Yes, and myself, I put myself in the point because I've also been depressed before and wanted to kill myself twice. First as a 10-year-old boy. Class 4. So
this is more like a life story.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
it's being practical.
Yeah.
When you listen to the tone, how it goes, I realize that this is more practical. It's not a theory he has learned to come and recite.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I pray that whoever listens to this poem will be motivated not to kill himself, but live life, stop overthinking, and just live life the way it is God has created it to be, okay? If you overthink too much, you'll be depressed, and depression will lead to suicide.
Especially in this time of high economic and all that. We need that. Thank you very much for
You're welcome. You're welcome. Nice meeting you.
So Fifi Alban is a spoken word artist, and then he joined us to give us a premise for this conversation. We're talking about overcoming depression and how do you overcome it. Is it limited to certain people or certain category of people? In this time where fuel prices over the roof, the dollar rate is 12 cedis and over, and inflation rate is high above there. We are still battling with Russia, Ukraine, and this is excesses. Everybody is somewhere, somehow going through one challenge or the other. How do we overcome such depression? Let me also let you know that once upon a time, when I started my career in media, I once had the now head of national, the man at the Ghana, what do you call that part? Professor Say once said, he's now heading the this, what do you call these people? I've forgotten their name. So Dr. Say once said, he's now Professor Say, he once said that every human being, so long as you live on this earth, there's about 20% of madness or depression. So if something triggers it, it takes you to another level. We don't want something to trigger it. Join this conversation from now to approximately when we're about to wrap up. And then if you have any thoughts and comments, if you've been through such a situation, please, you want to share with us, or you're going through such a situation, you don't know who to talk to. I have the man who is popularly known as Councillor Jefreys here. He has been around for quite a while. He has about 9 years experience in the education sector. That means he has a very good experience with the GES. Maybe you want to watch the BEC student something before we continue. And then he is also a counselor. He's a life coach, essentially. In my reading, I did religion back in school. Good. I did African traditional religion. It tells us that there are 4 stages of life: childbirth, puberty, marriage, and death. Irrespective of these stages, one is likely to go through such depression. Yes. But before we get into that conversation, by the way, kindly let us put a message out there to our younger brothers and sisters who are about to write to the BEC. They are starting this morning. Good. Since your education is as well, maybe you have some information for them.
Well, I think I don't have any information, but just to motivate them.
Awesome.
You see, what you think is who you are. So once you are going into the exam room afraid, the fear will cripple your thinking pattern. No matter how well you have prepared, no matter how well you've learned, don't be afraid. And don't put yourself in situations where you're going to be depressed. And parents should create the environment that allows their children to be happy. They should be, if this week, give your child the best food you want to eat. Pamper them, excite them, trigger some stuff that makes them a happy child. A happy child, you know, once you are happy, your brain opens up. But once you are depressed or you are sad, your brain closes. So your emotional strength and agility is key for this examination. That's why this examination favors the fool.
Exactly.
Because usually they are trying to say that the fool, they are kind of, I don't care, they are free, they are happy, they are exciting. So once you are that exciting, you are jovial, it gives you the leverage. It releases the oxytocin, the dopamine, and all those hormones that allows your brain to work properly. So young people, you can if you think you can. But if you think you can't, you can't. But I know you can. So this week, put yourself in situations, in places that will excite you. Friends that criticize you, don't be in their company. Friends that makes you feel guilty, don't be in their company. Don't be around people who create some level of unhealthy competition around you. Believe you can. Go in there and you will be able to do it.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. Well, I once saw a little child saying, I'm depressed. Now who would you? I'm depressed. How? It was about 12 years.
Okay.
Telling me she's depressed, and I was like, now what dreaming now? Dreaming that was so. Yeah, it's your school fees. You're too full. And you can say you're depressed. What is it about a child about 12 years saying she's depressed? What is depression? And it's
you see, depression is a mental illness.
Okay.
You see, mental health and mental illness, people try to interchange them.
Okay.
Mental health is your well-being, being able, you are well emotionally, psychologically, and then mentally. You are healthy mentally, emotionally. But mental illness are conditions which affect your ability to think, to feel, and to act properly.
One of them will be depression.
Yes, one of them. Any condition
okay,
that affects your ability to think properly, to feel properly, and to act properly.
Okay.
It's
so
a mental
more like
illness.
Affecting your senses.
Yeah, it's affecting you.
Okay.
So depression is a condition. It will affect how you think, it will affect how you feel, it will affect how you act. Because depression, in my definition, because all these theory definitions, I don't really like them. I give definition as it's a mental freezer. It freezes just like anger. Anger is an emotional smoke. It smokes your thinking, your panther. You can't, just like when you enter a smoky environment, you can't see properly. The smoke when you are angry, your mind enter a smoky ambience, so you can't think properly, so you can't talk well. So just like anger is an emotional smoke, depression is also a mental freezer. It freezes your brain. You can't think properly. You can't see straight. You lose your sense of existence.
I often see people, somebody said it could be an example of depression. So you'll be sitting by yourself, talking to yourself, unknown to yourself. This is no monologue, please. I said you are going through something bad and it's coming out of you. Is that a sign of depression?
Yeah, it possibly it could be a sign. Sometimes not a sign. Sometimes maybe when you are lost in your thoughts, you are in a pensive mood. You are lost in some
or something.
Stuff like that. But if it's consistent, then we can trace it to like schizophrenia, hallucinations, and all those stuff. So people who actually get depressed, those are the basic signs you begin to see. You begin to talk to themselves. That's why when it graduates into actual madness, you see they talk.
So there are types of depression.
There are types. There's a progression, there are stages, and then
how does it start in the first place? How does it start?
Okay, you see, depression, just like normal sicknesses that you have, maybe mild headache.
So we can classify depression as sickness.
As what?
As sickness.
It is. I said it's a mental illness. That's why I said depression. Mental illnesses are conditions that allows you not to be able to think properly, feel properly, and act properly. And these are key to your day-to-day life.
Exactly.
Can you imagine if you can't think well, if you can't feel well, if you can't act well? That's why the first Director General of World Health Organization, Dr. Brooke, he said that there can't be any other health without mental health. Because you see, do you know that when you are an amputee, you'll be allowed to vote? When you are blind, you'll be allowed to vote. When you are deaf, you'll be allowed to vote. But when you are mad, you're not allowed to vote. Madness seizes you from being counted as a human being because you've lost your sense of reasoning, your sense of you can't analyze properly, you can't reason well, and depression can lead people there. So
the Constitution says that you should be of sound mind.
Okay, good, sound mind. You see, so once you are not of sound mind, and depression, that's how come we have to take emotional intelligence serious, because emotional intelligence is actually the cure to depression, to anxiety, to suicide, to murder, to trauma. Emotional intelligence, because you have the ability to be aware of your emotions, handle them, manage them, regulate them, and live with them. But unfortunately, most people are emotionally unintelligent. And emotional unintelligence actually is a factor to why these issues are having a toll on people. Just like
I'll come back and ask you how the emotional intelligence is it more of the nature of the person or the environment creates it? But I wanted to know, how does this depression start with human beings? So, why you tell yourself you are depressed? What even causes it?
So it starts with the thought. There are two things that fuel your emotions: words and thought pattern. So once you can regulate your thought and your words, you can be very sound mentally and emotionally. So here you are right now. If you're not too careful, a thought can hit you right now. Your mood will change. Your facial expression will change. So if you can't control your thought pattern, a girl can be just there happy until she go on social media. Then she sees her friend, colleague who they be in school, getting married next week, and she has had about 7 failed relationships. That alone can hit you. That's where we have the social media fatigue and the social media stress, which people are not even aware of. Social media is creating more anarchy, more emotionally unstable individual, because you go there, a lot of people are living fake lives there. It can trigger. So what you see, so a thought, so it starts with a thought pattern. Then you begin to harbor it. You begin to feel as if maybe I am left behind. I think I am inadequate. So the feeling of inadequacy, the feeling of hopelessness. So all those feelings and all those thought patterns is building up, and you're not aware. It keeps building up. It grows to a point whereby you feel a sense of total hopelessness, total anarchy, depression setting. So it starts in with the thought pattern, your thoughts, what you think. Most of the time, what happens around you, your environment. For example, death, a loss, the loss of a loved one, you know, that has gone into glory, can trigger that. People, that's where grief comes in, because people are still grieving for 2 years now. They have not been recovered. You are still grieving. Grief and depression, if these two combine, trust you me, if you are not helped early, you commit suicide. So a lot of people, this is where it starts. Gradually, it comes in a very subtle manner. You begin to think, you begin to doubt your own abilities, you begin to doubt your own capacity, you begin to doubt you are not adequate enough, your own competency. And the other one is that people who are not able to manage expectations. Expectation is also another key area where depression can come in. For example, people have so much expectation of you. You know, when he was reciting a poem, he made some few stuff, people were expecting some stuff from you. I read one of the nicest, should I say nicest, suicide note. It was so disheartening, but when I say it was so
couched,
yeah, well, like simple. He said, "Mommy, I can't do it anymore. I tried to please you all this while, and I know you'll be expecting me to do more. I've tried, I couldn't. Mommy, I love you, but I see you." That's all. It means that parents who put pressure on their children, you are expecting too much from them, and you want to impress. And this generation where people want to impress, that's why those who live more fake life are more depressed.
You mentioned the part about emotional intelligence as being the key factor here. Ordinarily, you don't expect everybody to have that level of emotional intelligence. Is it that you are born with, or the nature or the environment you live within helps you cultivate to be emotionally strong?
Emotional intelligence is not a gift. It's not a talent. It's not a thing you are born with. It's a thing you must intentionally develop. Intelligence, you have to it's just like a skill.
Work for it.
You have to go for it. Common sense is what you are born with. Because something common sense and acquire sense. Emotional intelligence is an acquire sense you must acquire intentionally. But then again, your environment can contribute to it. You are born in an environment where it's a very abusive environment. Environment where you have never been supported by your parents, your sibling, your teacher never supported you, dumped on your gift and all those stuff. It dampens you. It empowers because some part of you, the pathological critic, which is in all of us. Sometimes it works like a bodyguard to hold you. Hey, you are wrong. Don't do it. You don't do it. If you live in an environment where you have never been praised, you have never been clapped for, applauded, and no good feedback, the pathological critic becomes stronger. So it will be accusing. As for you, it will be anything you do, you don't find appreciation in it. So that kind of environment can also cause you to be emotionally daft, unhygienic. But if you notice that, that's why emotional intelligence is your ability to be aware of your emotions, regulate your emotions, manage your emotions, and master them. Because emotions are data. They are
so in the instance where you mentioned somebody who has never been praised before, he's never been given credit for whatever he does or she does, such a person, how does a person manage his emotional intelligence?
So if he doesn't know, just like
because the environment didn't create any opportunity for
ignorance of the law is no excuse of the law. You don't know it. Your environment, I grew up from another environment. So people, that's why education is key. We call emotional education, emotional intelligence, and then emotional schooling. People have to be schooled. We must bring the teaching of emotional intelligence to our society. The key to mental health is emotional intelligence. So people must acquire it. You see, financial intelligence is also not a thing you learn in school. People don't know that. You can be an accountant but have a very bad financial life. Because your intelligence is that aspect of you that allows you to solve problems. So when I have financial crisis, that part of me that allows me to handle my financial crisis properly, to come out of it, that's my financial intelligence. So when you don't have it, it's not like going to read books and treasury books, blah blah. No.
So emotional intelligence is being tutored.
So your emotional intelligence also that part of you which allows you to handle your emotional crisis very well. How do you react to? You respond to abusive worker, abusive partner in a relationship. How do you handle all these people?
Councillor Jefreys, you know, we all know it's not everybody who can handle certain issues. So I can be able, I mean, even in relationship, normal relationship, people go through heartbreaks. There are people who will tell you that, oh, me Arsenal, support Arsenal. We don't fear heartbreaks. And no matter what you do to them, like, you don't have that kind of, is it that they are bereft of emotional intelligence?
Let me tell you, as a love therapist, Anybody who said I don't go through broken heart, it means that he has never been in love. Then he was a liar. If you fall in love and you are in love, you love somebody and they broke away from you, trust you me, you have this emotional palpitation, emotional suffocation, emotional dehydration. You have shortness of breath. You go to church, we will lay hands on you, pour all the anointing on you. No, you can't breathe as if your world is crashing. Unless you are not in love, they are lying. Means me, I'm too strong. No. It means he never loved you. He was just playing with you. But if really you are in love, you have loved the girl.
Sometimes they don't want to do it in the presence of you. When they go into the bedroom,
I'm telling you, yes. So that's what I'm saying, that it's a lie.
Okay.
For example, a lot of ladies who say, I don't need a man, or I don't want a man. She has, I don't need a man attitude. I don't want a husband concept. That's why she portrays in public. But privately, she yearns for that touchy smile of a man to touch her, to love, and all those. But publicly, she's pretending and having the attitude. So one reason why a lot of sisters are still singles, because she carried this attitude, I don't need a man attitude. It's the same way people who feel like, oh, me, I don't have heartbreak, is a lie. When you are like that, because something emotional rigidity. You see, in the study of, in the research of emotional suppression, it is being found out that when you suppress any emotion you are suppressing, is brooding. You are nurturing it. It's growing. It will come up like a volcano. So those who pretend that they are not hurt, finally when the hurt comes up, they become more dangerous. Don't suppress your emotions. Emotions must be released.
So then people, I've heard a couple of people who go like, media, oh yeah, my dear, I'm in fancy, McCann or has to see, and then I go. But sometimes in the manner in which they also go about it becomes a challenge. So such people, you recommend that they are doing a better job for their emotions?
No, they are not doing a better job. That's why. So you must be taught how to release your emotions.
Should teach you that.
Yes, how must you release your emotion?
Okay.
Because if we don't teach you how to release your emotion, you are going to be very vindictive, very abusive, very assaultive, with very cynical words, which is going to tarnish your image. Anger is that thing that can make you produce the best speech that you will never forget. Because anger, like I said earlier on, is an emotional smoke. So once you are angry and you want to communicate and you are not in control of your emotions, you're going to use words that you regret later. Anger will give you an adjective of a bad name. You can be a good girl. There are so many good ladies, good guys, but because of anger, they say he doesn't respect, she doesn't respect. Because when the person get angry, the person will vent out. So you don't really express, you communicate your anger. You must learn to communicate your anger. So in the face of the situation, you don't talk. You walk that way. There are 4 ways you respond: fright mood, fight mood, freeze mood, or frown mood. The fight mood is for those who are very vindictive in life, who are very abusive in life. Usually they are cholerics. Gra, gra, gra. Hey, me, I'll tell you my mind. No, you must tell people your mind, but you will tell them your mind when you are minding your mind. Because when you are telling people your mind whilst you are losing your mind, you speak stupidly. You speak useless words that you regret later. And in the face of anger, you can't mind your mind. You have to fly. That's what we call it, the flight mood. So the second part is the flight mood. Just fly away. Just walk. Move away. Go move away. Even in a relationship, you see an argument coming. You must be emotionally intelligent and then self-awareness, highly self-awareness skill that I think where it's going, we need to go and come back tomorrow. You understand that, man? When you go and then you go and sleep, you wake up, come back tomorrow. Your brain is done, because sleep is one of the greatest ingredients to mental health. If you are not sleeping well, you skip sleep for 2 nights and 3 nights and see. I'm telling you. So those who don't sleep well, actually, you are shortening your life. I'm telling you. Sleep allows your brain and your system to recuperate, to rejuvenate. There are some problems you only solve them with sleeping. Oh yes. So people also use the flight response. Some will use the frown. You know, frown. You frown. They'll be there. Then you become very quiet. No frown. Give your attitude. Good morning. You know, that's also their response. That also is not good. Some also use the freeze. They become freeze. They are afraid. They are timid. That's it. So which response are you going to use when you want to release your anger? You must be taught and you must be educated on how to meaningfully release.
You keep saying you must be taught, you must be educated, you need to learn. How do we get this information?
Like, you see, our system For example, if I should put up a conference, for example, last 2 months I put up a conference, the therapeutic managerial procedure for anger management. People came back. People say, "Oh, I don't need this. I don't." Our system here, we don't cherish knowledge. We like to thrive on common sense, but common sense only produces common results. Are you understand that one? You are not here by common sense. I'm not on this show by common sense.
True.
Not at all. It's acquire sense. So people should be intentional. So if you are listening to me now, you must be intentional. You can self-educate yourself, go on the internet, read, research, ask questions, go for consultation, just like you go for physical checkup for your physical health. The same way you need to see your psychiatrists, you need to see your psychologists, you need to see your therapists to go and do reviews on you. Most of these high-class CEOs you see, they have all these people around them. I even have one CEO in Accra here. Once in a while, he calls me. I go over. He said, I'll just listen to him. And I said, I think you are depressed. I think you are just listening, because we have been trained as an emotionologist. I see sadness in your eyes. I hear beyond what you see. I see beyond what you are portraying. Then I can be able to decode and say, no, I think it's going to lead there. I say, you need to tone down this. So they recuperate their emotional health being, and it's key. But if you keep going there, about that, you'll be stuck in your brain.
In case you just tune in, I have Councillor Jefreys here. He's a lifetime coach, life coach, essentially. We're talking about overcoming depression, and we'll be able to define what it is, and probably even the courses, look at them and how it even starts. And he keeps saying the part that you need to learn it. You need to have that intelligence. If you have that emotional intelligence, you will be able to overcome this kind of depressions that we go through on a daily. But then again, the part I want to ask is, there are stages of life, as I mentioned from the beginning, from the onset. Who is susceptible to depression?
Okay. Everybody. Like you mentioned, that doctors, there's some 20% of what? Madness. Madness in,
Professor said,
in almost everybody.
Yeah.
You see, it's not really madness per se, but I like the way he encapsulated it, that there's some 20% of madness in everybody. That means that, you see, your emotions, they are fragile. When you joke with them, they will mess you up.
Okay.
Because your emotions give motion to your life. Are you understand?
Your emotions.
They give motion to your life.
Okay.
So once you wake up and your emotions are messed up, your day is messed up. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care. That's what I was telling the student. You can learn and everything. Something can happen before you enter that exam hall. Your emotional being is down. So your emotional sanity, your emotional stability, your emotional health, they are key to a stable life. Which, for example, in marriage, most of today's young ones want somebody who is financially stable. Oh, I want a financially stable man, financially stable woman, all those stuff. Can I shock you? A financially stable man who is not emotionally and mentally stable will give you a lifetime depression that can kill you early.
True.
You understand that one? You shouldn't go first for financial stability. Is he emotionally stable? Because you see, you are dealing with love. And love is that electronic attachment, connectivity, you know, that consanguineous affinity that you have with somebody that makes you vibe, that makes you glue, that makes you flow with the person. That is it. It's not really about money. Money and all this, they are just boosters. Money is a booster of love. Car is a booster of love. Goods are boosters of love. You understand that one? But they are not the mating. The foundation is love. And love basically has to do with your connectivity with your partner. So when you are not going for someone who is emotionally stable, psychologically stable, in our time, very few people are. So people should understand that your emotion can be tempered, it can be poisoned.
So it doesn't matter your age.
No, it doesn't matter your age.
You're a child.
No.
You're an adult.
No. Most childhood traumatic issues that were not dealt with, we grew up with, it become adulthood, depression, anxiety, trauma, and post-traumatic issues, plenty. Yes. So usually when we are even dealing with even depression, usually it's a secondary emotion. We want to find out what is causing it. There's another emotion under it that is revealed. That's why I said earlier on that emotions are data. It's a message. What is it communicating? What is it saying? So your depression, when I talk with you and I listen to you, your depression, the source of it, the cause of it is different from another person's own. Somebody's own is from a childhood experience. Issue that was not dealt with, was covered. So people should not cover issues in your background. Somebody raped you, you covered it. You were abused and molested. You denied it. Don't deny these things. It will affect you in the future. You can't have a good relationship.
Let's look at some of the precipitating factors, things that causes it. So, for instance, you said maybe somebody gets a broken heart that could cause the person to be depressed. What are some of the other things that
I mentioned
could cause?
expectation.
Exactly.
That people should learn to manage. Me, I manage expectation.
How do you do that?
Oh, you see, the first person you must please is yourself. You are not in competition with anybody. People don't want to accept it.
In the world of economic aggrandizement, somebody is getting there. I want to also get there some. So, because it's bread and butter day.
Okay, so if you go that tangent, be ready to face to. You see, the music you want to play, you must be ready to dance. So you want to go and compete, and competition and comparison, they are deadly to your emotional health. Most of the time, you are okay until you begin to compare yourself. Are you aware about that?
But senior,
No, but you are aware about that. You are okay, you are fine, until you begin to compare yourself to somebody else. Then suddenly you become very sad and very depressed.
But competition sometimes is also good, isn't it? So sometimes, I sit on this channel, do the morning show. I see other guys also doing morning show other places. Probably they are getting awards or something, and I'm not getting. So I was like, Charlie, what am I not doing right?
Okay.
You understand?
That shouldn't be competition. What they are doing should motivate you.
Rather.
You understand that, man? That's you. Because if you want to compete, you can become very diabolical. Competition and comparison says that I must be better than you.
Well,
I must be better than you. I must be like you, better than you, and then bring you behind. Okay. You must take the lap. I must overtake you. And when you are like that, you may be reckless, lawless, and careless. And people in our world now, because of the competition and then the comparison, people can do anything to bring people down. For the last time, I don't know this guy, Black Sheriff. Yeah. I think I saw on one of your sister channels that I think they wrote a caption that he said, I asked for him, he doesn't think bad about anybody, so nobody can sabotage him. I said, this man, he's a young boy.
It's not good to have that thought.
No.
Evil intention about people, so they can.
The world is evil.
Okay.
You don't need to think evil about people for you to be their enemy. For some people, immediately you are winning. You have wronged them. You understand that? Some people immediately, even somebody seeing me on this show now will be angry with me. This boy again, this pastor again. Another pastor may see me. Are we all not pastors? We are all pastors. But my training, my background, my calling, my assignment is totally different. So I don't try to do what I've not been called to do. What you have not been called to do, you have not been trained to do, you have not been assigned to do, you have not been delegated to do. It's not your assignment. You don't need to do that. Stay in your lane and be okay. So that thought pattern, as for me, because I don't think evil of anybody, so nobody can harm me. As for you, you are the direct goat meat for their soup. Because you be a misnomer, you be a novice, you be myopic, you be reckless, you be careless. Anybody who hates you can hurt you. Anybody who hates you can harm you. So we don't preach hate, but we preach be vigilant. So that statement he made, he's lying. Because immediately he's doing very well. I don't know his age anyway, but he's all over the place now. His music, blah blah. Some people be angry.
Yeah, of course.
Your success irritates people. You understand that it will bring resentment. You become so, life looks so like meaningless, meaning to life. You wake up. Why are you making the money? Do you want CNN?
So your goals, your desire, competition.
Yes.
To fight together.
Yes, you should have goals. You should be living for something tangible, realistic, meaningful, that you can carefully grow. Like I keep teaching, people should grow up. Learn to grow up. Don't go up. Those who are going up will come down, but those who are growing up will stay up.
Okay.
So you grow through system. You grow through difficulties. You grow through predicament. You grow through stages one after the other like that. You are growing, but don't just go. But today in this hazy, rushing world, people just want to wake up one day and enter million. You'll be depressed because you want to dodge process. So most people who also don't want to follow regulated, regimented principles, they will also be depressed because you want to get what somebody has gotten in 10 years, you want to get in 10
1
months.
hour. So it's good to have expectations,
Yes.
but you should
Manage your expectations.
Okay.
Regulate them, not to compete. No. I can promise you that most of the young ladies, young guys who are even having depression, I can promise you is because of unrealistic expectation they have. For example, even in a relationship. That's why if you are hearing me, free advice, sit your partner down. What are your expectations?
Okay.
What are you expecting from me? Know what they are expecting from you. If you can meet those expectations, fine. If you can't meet them, please advise yourself, because the mother of most of the frustration is expectation. When you are expecting the person to call you, but I didn't promise that I'll call you, but you expect me to give you, for example, today is my birthday. I don't celebrate birthday. So when I walk out of here, somebody call me, somebody didn't call me, somebody give you money or nothing, I don't mind.
So today's really
Today's my birthday.
Oh, happy blessed birthday to you.
Today's my birthday. You understand that? I have signed, even my church, I've told them, they don't celebrate birthday for me. I said, no, please, my birthday. Thank God, just pray for me, whatever, but no special occasion, so that I'll be expecting maybe they'll bring me a gift or a car or whatever, and then when they didn't bring it, now I'll come to church. Hey, I'm sorry, people. You disturb people. Then you are mad. No.
Yeah.
Do you know there are some relationships that have been broken because the girl was expecting some birthday party. She saw her friend's birthday party, the way it was, and hey, so me too, I have to. You see your friend's wedding, me. I'm not yet married. I'm going to get married very soon. Very soon. Okay. Now, I'm not even expecting a best man. I told all my sons, my friends, so I said that position does not exist.
Okay.
I like it simple. What am I competing for? So I'm content. That's why contentment and thankfulness, they are great keys to kill depression, to kill anxiety.
I know one thing, that your expectations will be large on your suit.
Oh, you see?
Killer suit for that day. In fact, I want to be there.
I'll surprise you.
Yeah.
You'll surprise that on my wedding day, I'm going to wear one of my suits. Because I think I've worn all the suits. So people don't think that. Sincerely, I like to look good because
but sometimes it's not even
confidence.
about you alone. It's about the other party that is also involved.
All right, so that's where I have to talk with her. I will tell her, well, if you want to have 15 bridesmaids behind you,
right.
I don't have a problem at all. Maybe if you want to have 15, because of that, I may consider only one behind me.
Yeah.
We have to come to an agreement. You must understand that I don't want these.
Okay.
I will explain to you. I'm a life coach.
Yeah.
I'll take her to some. Oh, my dear, do you consider it? Could you consider it? You know. But if that's really what you want, you really does. So we have to communicate. Communication is key. I know my expectation, know what I want. We have to synchronize in a very harmonious manner.
I think we need to have you back here tomorrow to finish up what you're talking about. We're just on the precipitating factors.
Good.
We ended on the expectations. I'm sure there are many more that
there are
causes
many more.
depressions.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, we'll wrap it up. But of course, Councillor Jefreys has promised us we'll be back tomorrow for us to continue and look at other aspects of depression and how to overcome it and all those things. So,